Ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, and history enthusiasts of all ages, welcome back to Timeless Sagas, the one-stop shop for all things historical, anthropological, sociological, and philosophical. In today's episode, we'll be delving into the mystifying and often misunderstood world of voodoo. Prepare to embark on a journey through time and continents as we explore the rich history and cultural significance of this captivating belief system. So, buckle up, and let's unravel the enigmatic tapestry of voodoo. Now, when most people hear the word voodoo, a barrage of Hollywood-fueled images springs to mind: shambling zombies, voodoo dolls stuck with pins, and sinister, cackling witches. But let me tell you, my fellow history buffs, there's so much more to voodoo than what we've seen on the silver screen. Voodoo, or vodou, as it's known in Haiti, is a complex and fascinating blend of African religious traditions, Catholicism, and even elements of Freemasonry. And, far from being the dark and evil force that it's often portrayed as, voodoo is actually a life-affirming and community-centered religion that has played a vital role in the lives of millions of people for centuries. To truly understand voodoo, we must travel back in time to West Africa, where it all began. Voodoo has its roots in the traditional religions of the Fon, Yu, and Yoruba peoples, who lived in the area that is now modern-day Benin, Togo, and Nigeria. These early voodoo practitioners believed in a supreme being, variously called Mawu, Nanaboluku, or Olodumare, who was revered as the creator of the universe. However, since this supreme being was considered to be distant and unapproachable, people would instead seek the assistance of a pantheon of lesser deities, known as the Loa or Orichas. These deities, each with their own distinct personalities, functions, and spheres of influence, would act as intermediaries between humans and the Supreme Being, helping to guide and protect the living in their daily lives. Now, let's fast forward to the 16th and 17th centuries. European colonizers, in their infinite wisdom and benevolence, decided that the best way to civilize the African continent was to kidnap millions of its inhabitants and forcibly transport them across the Atlantic to work as slaves in the New World. Among the many horrors of the transatlantic slave trade, countless West Africans were torn from their homelands, their families, and their ancestral beliefs. But, as history has shown time and time again, the human spirit is nothing if not resilient. And so, the enslaved Africans, in a remarkable act of cultural preservation and defiance, found ways to keep their religious traditions alive, even in the face of unimaginable hardship and persecution. One of the main reasons voodoo was able to survive and adapt in the New World was its syncretic nature. In other words, voodoo was able to incorporate elements of other belief systems, like Catholicism and Freemasonry, into its own framework, allowing it to evolve and flourish in its new environment. For instance, when the enslaved Africans were forced to convert to Christianity, they simply associated their own deities with the Catholic saints, creating a unique fusion of African and European spiritual practices. This syncretism allowed these enslaved people to continue worshipping their ancestral gods while outwardly appearing to conform to their oppressors' religious expectations. And so, voodoo, like a cultural chameleon, managed to survive and thrive, even in the most hostile of conditions. Now, let's shift our focus to the Caribbean, specifically the island of Hispaniola, which was the epicenter of voodoo's development in the New World. Hispaniola, as you may know, is split between the modern-day nations of Haiti and the Dominican Republic. In the late 17th and early 18th centuries, the French controlled the western part of the island, which they called Saint-Domingue. Under French rule, Saint-Domingue became one of the wealthiest colonies in the Americas, thanks to its booming sugar and coffee industries. But this wealth came at a tremendous human cost, with hundreds of thousands of enslaved Africans toiling away in brutal conditions on the island's plantations. It was in this crucible of suffering and oppression that Haitian Vodou, as we know it today, was born. The enslaved Africans of Saint-Domingue, drawing on their diverse religious traditions, forged a new belief system that would help them endure their daily struggles and offer them hope for a better future. In the shadow of the brutal plantation system, secret Vodou societies and temples, known as Hounfers, were established, where the enslaved could come together to worship their deities, seek spiritual guidance, and forge a sense of unity and belonging in a world that sought to strip them of their humanity. And then, in 1791, something truly extraordinary happened. A massive slave revolt erupted in Saint-Domingue, led by a former slave and Vodou priest named Vokman Dutty. This rebellion, fueled in part by the spiritual power and community bonds forged through Vodou, would ultimately lead to the establishment of the independent nation of Haiti in 1804, marking the first successful slave revolt in history. Vodou, which had once been a source of solace and strength for the enslaved, had now become a driving force for liberation and self-determination. In the centuries that followed, voodoo continued to evolve and spread, reaching far beyond the borders of Haiti. Today, voodoo is practiced by millions of people across the Caribbean, the United States, and even back in its ancestral home of West Africa. Despite centuries of persecution and misunderstanding, voodoo has endured, a testament to the strength and adaptability of the human spirit. So, my friends, as we bring this fascinating journey through the history of voodoo to a close, I hope you'll remember that there's always more to the story than what we've been led to believe. The true essence of voodoo lies not in the sensationalist stereotypes of pop culture, but in the resilience, community, and spiritual power that has sustained it through the ages. And with that, we've reached the end of another episode of Timeless Sagas. As always, I encourage you to delve deeper, ask questions, and never stop exploring the rich tapestry of our shared human history. Until next time, this is your trusty historian, signing off.